That's where they live, up on the Lake Lanier.
Lake Lanier is built on top of a pillaged black town that faced the threat of genocide and 20 displaced cemeteries. The man-made lake is built over several small towns, the most disturbing being a predominantly black town that was once known as Oscarville. In this town, there were many black Americans who lived, breathed, built families, and even owned land. And the black townspeople of Oscarville formed a healthy community, a decent living that consisted of schools, churches, and small businesses. Yet they lived in constant fear that a racial attack could happen at any time. In 1912, those fears became a reality when the black townspeople of Oscarville fell victim to a gruesome racial cleansing. Night riders came into town and forced every black citizen out with the threat of genocide.
Some people, even the strongest of swimmers, have said it felt like somebody was pulling them under the water when they found themselves in Lake Lanier. And there are plenty who aren't even from the area who would tell you not to get in the water of Lake Lanier, mostly due to the rising popularity of its haunting past and its haunting present. If this nearly 58 square mile reservoir is cursed, then there's numerous reasons that you can point to as to why. In 1912, Oscarville was home to around 1,100 blacks, most of them, if not all of them, being freed men and women who settled here after slavery ended. They made their living by working in the fields or doing odd jobs for white residents in surrounding neighborhoods, and were successful in building churches, schools, and small businesses in their town. With the Atlanta race riots happening in 1906, there was still fear in the town that something could happen at any time. The community members were regrettably right. On September 5th, 1912, 22-year-old white woman Ellen Grice said that two men tried to come after her. But before they were successful, her mother ran them off. The Forsyth County Sheriff pinned 5 black men for this, which caused a stir amongst the black communities in the area. A vocal and local preacher named Grant Smith tried to appeal to the sheriff for the men, citing little evidence and that there was a chance that one of the men was actually in a relationship with Grice. This angered the local white community, so they came to the courthouse for Grant Smith, with horsewhips and other various things. And on those steps is where Grant Smith almost passed away. Tony Howell, one of the men, was accused and convicted. Shortly after this, false rumors began to spread that blacks were planning to do something to a nearby town. So white residents in the areas were loading up on arms and patrolling the towns. On September 12, 1912, 16-year-old Ernest Knox was accused of assaulting 18-year-old May Crow. She was found barely alive in the nearby Big Creek community. Searchers allegedly found a small pocket mirror belonging to Ernest Knox. They found him at home, threatened to hang him, and coerced him to confess. Knox and 4 other men, presumed to be his accomplices, were taken to a jail in the Atlanta area. A group of over 2,000 whites came to the jail and overtook it, hanging one of those men, Rob Edwards, from a telephone pole in the town square. Both Knox and another teenager named Oscar Daniel were found guilty. They were sentenced to hanging without ever having a fair trial, a sentence that was also against the law in the state at this time. And the Night Riders, an openly supremacist group, was formed after these events, with their main goal being to run every black person out of Forsyth County and beyond. Oscarville became the subject of their attention. Over 98% of its black residents were run out of town or slaughtered for not leaving. Black property deeds were literally given to white neighbors without a bill of sale or transfer. The Night Riders and their allies drove every black person out of Oscarville. They stole their land and left it a ghost town. The land would eventually be sold to the government, and in the 1950s, the Lake Lanier project was underway. The entirety of Oscarville and other small towns would be completely flooded underwater, and the reservoir would be named after Sidney Lanier, a Confederate. In total, over 50,000 acres of farmland would be washed away, 250 families displaced, and over 20 cemeteries left under the water. And to this day, it seems that what was left behind still has a story to tell. Hundreds and hundreds of people have passed away in this lake, with well over 200 of them happening after 1994. What that number doesn't include are also the amount of accidents that happen, both vehicular and boating in nature. On top of that, it's said that this lake is haunted. One of the legends is that the spirits under the water would try to pull you under. Roads, artifacts, and foundations have been found underneath the water, which also leads people to believe that there are souls tied to them forever. People also claim to have felt inanimate arms and legs underneath the murky water. And the most popular myth is the Lady of the Lake. The story goes that a woman and her friend were heading to Dawsonville in 1958. That car went off the bridge and into Lake Lanier. The woman who was driving the car was wearing a blue dress. And it wasn't until 18 months later when they eventually found that woman. She was allegedly missing 2 toes on her left foot and she had no hands. And people to this day still have stories about seeing this woman in blue on the bridge and throughout the lake. The deep-seated resentment for black communities started well before September 5th or September 12th, 1912. The Reconstruction era was very hard on black communities. These events just gave people a reason to do what they already wanted to do to black communities. Places like nearby Kalijah or Benson under Lake Martin in Alabama were never given the chance to survive. And that goes for Oscarville up under Lake Lanier as well. And the next time you go to Lake Lanier, just remember how it got there.
A detailed look at what was beneath the lake in the past. But as Channel 2's Diana Davis reports, New at 5 rangers also think the maps have a future.
These old dusty tubes were lying forgotten in a warehouse near Washington, D.C. Inside, 44 hand-drawn maps of the area around and under what is now Lake Lanier. The maps were going to be tossed in the trash. To Army Corps of Engineer Ranger Russ Lundstrom, they were like discovering buried treasure, giving a glimpse into part of the history of North Georgia.
Oh, it was like Christmas for me.
The maps show where local homes, cemeteries, even roads and railroad tracks were submerged when the Army Corps built Buford Dam and flooded what was mostly farmland.
A small dam with a small pond is right here.
This is the long-gone Dunlap Dam and Mill. The Army Corps was given the Lake Lanier project in 1946, 1 year after the end of World War II. The first parcel of land was bought from this farmer 2 years later. Groundbreaking came in 1950. It took another 9 years to complete the dam and fill the reservoir. Most of the structures shown on the old maps were torn down before the river was dammed up and the lake filled.
These are what I think are chicken houses.
A few relics remain under the water, including a half-mile racetrack. What's left of the grandstands was uncovered when lake levels fell during the 2007 drought.
But back in the 50s, the river was only this narrow channel right here, and this is where the speedway is.
Lundstrom hopes the Corps will exhibit the maps one day, not only for history buffs, but for the descendants of those who once lived on the land now under the lake. About 700 families were relocated to build the dam and the lake, and of course with that went all the farms, chicken houses, and
All right, Shalom. We are the Hebrew Israelites from the Indianapolis branch of the Great Millstone. We're here to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, Ba'Shem, Rakakadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well in teaching us this 100% truth. Salutations to them and our fellow Akim who labor in this truth week in and week out on the highways and byways. Also salutations to the hopeful elect of the scattered 12 tribes of Israel, scattered to the four corners of the earth that be like it to the speckled bird, also known as your Israelite foreigners and your so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. To you, we say Shalom.
Shalom.
All right, just going to get right into it. This is yet again another installment of the camps, GMS Indianapolis camps for thy violence against thy brother Jacob series, which is going into all of these historical counts of the, atrocious nonsense that Esau Edom, the so-called white man who is the wicked, has committed against Jake since we've been on this U.S. soil. And our scripture for that is Obadiah 1 and 10, and it reads, "For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever." And what this, again, that's talking about is the violence that Esau Edom, the so-called white man, he has put hell on the Israelites, since we've been on this soil. All right. And it says, now that this is coming out, it says that shame is going to cover you. And we're going into this topic today is Oscarville in Georgia, which is now Lake Lanier, where they marched Jake out of the city, took it over, and then flooded it, made it a river, Lake Lanier, okay? And once again, the same playbook. This was done because of a white woman, tears. Again, said that Jake did something, and then they go in, accuse somebody with no evidence, and destroy the whole city. Not only do they get the people that they accuse, they destroy the whole city, and we're finding this as a pattern. We're close to 60 videos now, and this is a pattern, that they have been doing since we've been on this soil and since, slavery ended. They had no more control of us. And it says, that shame is going to cover you. And we know that since this story, Lake Lanier, as you can see on the screen, that has become a documentary. And if you just go look at the comments on Amazon.com, these racist folks are mad. So fucking what? You did the shit. You did it. And now it's being exposed. All right? And it says, going back to the scripture, "For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever." And that's what's going to happen. Okay, first you being exposed, okay? number one, all your dirt is being exposed every day, 24/7, 365, and round the clock is being exposed, okay? And as these prophecies could come to pass, you know, this place going to be brought down, you're going into slavery, and then ultimately cut off forever. Like I said, you know, you all are going extinct to never exist again.
That's right.
All right?
Quick precept. Jeremiah 49:10.
Mm-hmm.
But I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no more hiding all these things that you have done. All right, hey, you'll get exposed as who you truly are, the devil.
Mm-hmm.
All right, your wicked acts are being exposed actually on a day-to-day basis.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what's so bad is, hey, even your own people are coming up against you, exposing you, man.
Yep.
All right, they're telling you the wickedness that you have done. All right, because you just, you know, we going to divide us against our brother Jacob, but you done wickedness unto your own people as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yep. I got a precept too.
You want to finish this?
Oh yeah. Oh, con.
His seed is spoiled,
Mm-hmm.
and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. Because what? Ultimately, he's going to be destroyed at the end of all this.
Con.
Yep.
You know, he's going to go into hardcore slavery, 1,000 years, and then what, they're going to be burnt up.
Yep.
The whole nation of Edom, man.
Mm-hmm. Put it.
After we're done, after you're done serving in your sentence, then guess what? It's still death.
Yep. God, put into that pit, and like I said, by the hand of his people, Judah and Israel, you know,
That's right.
Which, you know, it's going to be the entire nation of Israel at that time. We're going to be brought back, you know, as one nation, for everything that you did to us.
Which is fair. Hey, eye for eye, tooth for tooth.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. All right, that was it on that?
Yeah.
Okay, this is the book of Psalms, chapter 85, verse 11, and it reads, "Truth shall spring out of the earth, and righteousness shall look down from heaven." And how fitting, you know, that is, you know, our you know, ancestors are under that lake, you know, as some of those videos show, whole cities, whole churches, you know, entire towns. Okay, you did a terrible thing to Jake, you know, over some accusation that, you know, without evidence. All right.
Yeah, because when you read it to the brother's going to put the attachment of the Wikipedia article, and then when you read into it, it says that the white woman was found unresponsive and barely breathing, but the first thing they thought about was the black community that was close to where she was found in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's the same thing we went into, you know, the same aspect of what happened in the city of Rosewood.
Yep. Just covered that last week. Exactly.
Same exact thing, man. You know, a woman gets battered, beaten, and raped, and the first thing they want to do is what? Blame Jake. And 95% of the time, you know, they know to stay on people.
Mm-hmm.
Just like if you ever seen the movie Rosewood, you know, towards the end, when they was trying to hang old boy, he said, "Well, you know, everybody know what you be doing. Everybody know what your wife be doing while you at work.
Mm-hmm.
You only want to act like you don't know."
Yep.
You know, so they knew what type of woman she was. She was a Jezebel whore. They knew that she was touching everybody in the town. Every man in there laughed.
Yep.
Okay.
They know it's true, but it was an opportunity to destroy Jake.
That's what I was just going to go into that. But anytime they had any opportunity or chance to destroy something that we was trying to build up and put together, they took advantage of it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And that goes into that curse, you know. You always be in want, you know, and need. You know, you always be the tail and not the head.
That's right.
All right. Since you mentioned the Wikipedia article, let's go ahead and get into that. And again, a link to this article will be in the description box of this video. All right.
So let me get one more precept.
Slack it.
You're right. This is just based off like I said, the exposing of Esau, Edom, and all his wickedness.
Mm-hmm.
It's Jeremiah 23, and I'm gonna start at verse 23. It says, "Am I a God at hand, saith Yahweh, and not a God afar off? Can any hide himself in secret places that I shall not see him? Saith Yahweh Bashim Shah. Do not I fill heaven and earth, saith Yahweh Bashim Shah." So all these lies that Esau and all this stuff that he quote unquote tried to cover up, or thought Jake wasn't gonna figure it out eventually. You know, no, the Lord exposes it, and you know, and like we always say, hey, this is the Most High's movie, anyways. All right, so he's the director, he's control of both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So that's why Esau, you know, he's in a trick bag because he thinks he's out here moving on his own accord, but no, the Lord is moving him.
God. What do you say? Who seeth us?
Right.
Yeah, how about Shemi Awashai? That's who sees you.
That's right, bro.
Okay. This is the article from Wikipedia. Like I said, it'll be a link to it in the description box. We're just gonna won't read the whole thing. We'll just cover Oscarville, the history, and the formation of that lake. You can get more details either from the article or the videos that you just saw. Went into detail of that as well. All right. So this is Oscarville. It says Oscarville is a ghost town in Forsyth County, Georgia. All right, and we also know Forsyth County, Georgia, to this very day is one of those sundown towns.
That's right.
Okay, you had the lady that went over to the sleepover with all those white women.
Yeah.
She ended up dead, and nobody knows what happened. All right, continue on with the article. It says Oscarville, a majority black town, is most famous for being a central location in a series of violent crimes and racially motivated riots that happened in 1912, driving away most of the black residents in Forsyth County. In 1950, the remnants of the town were flooded during the construction of Lake Lanier. The site of Oscarville was located in northeastern Forsyth County, close to the border with Hall County, and this location is about 45 minutes from Atlanta. All right, in the history, it says Oscarville was formed in the 1800s during the post-war construction. Oscarville was an agricultural community, and for most of its history, it was reported to be prosperous. Though not all the residents of Oscarville were black, a large number were, and many of those residents had achieved higher economic growth than other black communities of the time.
Hey, real quick, see, and that's that jealousy of Esau too.
Mm-hmm.
They can't stand to see Jake on top of anything.
Mm-hmm.
These Negroes, you know what I'm saying? How dare them think they're better than us?
I was gonna say you really gotta put this in perspective too. Slavery was just abolished, quote unquote, in 1865.
Right.
Okay, didn't become citizens until 1868. So you're looking at this is 1912.
Right.
You know, that's less than a generation
Yep.
after you've been in captivity since 1619,
Yep.
and you already surpassed them.
Yep.
You know, they could foresee if they didn't stop you what was going to happen.
Right.
You know, you'd be serving them, which is going to happen anyway.
Right.
But yeah, they had to put a stop to that. All right.
I'll go into it. It's another lake. It's not this one that I was reading up about too. There was a guy. He was slavery. He became a free slave. All right. He earned up enough money, and he opened up one of the. It's 5 major towns that got flooded, and he opened up. He was pretty much the startup of one of the towns. All right. And, they said he was so smart that he owned so much. He owned the whole town by himself. He was a Jake. Like they say he was striving better than any other town around him. So just to back you up, yeah, Esau get mad, especially when Jake get the coming up and showing you, hey, I could do it without you. You know, he had his own banks and everything, man.
Which obviously, that was the thing. Like being separated from them was actually beneficial for us.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were off on our own, and to this day, we know that integration was the worst thing that happened to us.
Yep.
Okay, and it really wasn't integration, because when you integrate something, the two parts that come together still show a strength and a benefit. You know, they can still operate independently.
Yep.
So what happened was, instead of integration, we were assimilated.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Let's getting back to the article under history. It says many of Oscarville's black residents had been freed from slavery after fighting in the Civil War. In 1911, Oscarville had approximately 1,100 residents, 58 of whom owned land. 109 residents rented farms, and many more worked as craftsmen in nearby towns such as Cumming. Other residents were employed as cotton hands. Oscarville residents were especially noted for their skill in raising poultry. All right, and then this is getting into the formation of the lake. Like I said, you can read the information on the two women that were alleged assaulted in this town, Ellen Grice, and the other one was May Crow.
May Crow.
Yep. All right. Then there's also a section about the attack of the Night Rider. So they said they displaced those people. No, they were forced out.
Yeah.
Okay. They were forced out, and they were told. They brought them to a bridge that separated Oscarville from an all-white town. Okay.
Cummings.
Yeah, Cummings. Yeah. They brought them to that bridge and said, "Well, you can't cross over here. Either you're gonna swim or drown," and that's what happened to a lot of them.
Yep.
You know, the bodies are still under there to this day. All right.
Man, if this is not the call or sign of the devil, then what is it, man?
Yep.
Sorry.
All right, tell them that they couldn't go into that white town, so either you could jump in the water and die, or you try to come back over here and they was gonna kill you.
Mm-hmm.
So they had no choice but to pretty much kill themselves.
Yep.
The ones that couldn't swim.
Yep.
Go ahead.
All right. And this is the formation formation of Lake Lanier. And it reads, in the decades following the 1912 expulsions, land that had formerly been part of Oscarville was gradually sold to the government. Well, what do you know? Okay. They ass in it again. Growing demand for water in surrounding cities such as Atlanta led to the development of plans for a man-made reservoir. Plans for construction of the Beaufort Dam were approved in 1947. The dam, situated on the Chattahoochee River, would regulate flooding and lead to the formation of Lake Lanier. The remains of Oscarville were flooded in the 1950s during the lake's construction. Named after Confederate veteran and poet Sidney Lanier, Lake Lanier was completed in 1956. Oscarville is supposedly one of multiple drowned towns beneath Lake Lanier. All right, that's a whole lot of drowning. Yeah. Okay, and then it's one accounts in one of those videos that the trees are still full height up under that thing.
Come on, man.
All right. Continuing on, local legend alleges that Lake Lanier to be haunted. One commonly claimed reason for the supposed haunting is the high number of drowning deaths, with over 500 deaths between Lake Lanier's formation and 2021. 200 deaths occurred between 1994 and 2020. Underwater debris such as trees and buildings contribute to this drowning rate. The abandoned structures at Oscarville were not demolished. All right, so there's still evidence of the city down there.
Mm-hmm.
The abandoned structures at Oscarville were not demolished before the flooding, turning the structures into underwater hazards. Another commonly cited reason for the supposed haunting is that several cemeteries were not relocated before the flooding. And as 2020...
They did what they wanted to do, pretty much. They
just
flooded y'all out.
Yeah.
There probably was people that were still in their cities, too.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was.
Esau don't care, man.
Mm-mm.
When he want to do whatever, look, man, that lets you know, man, it's the devil. When he want to do whatever he want to do, he gonna do it.
Yep.
He don't care who get hurt in the process, He don't care about nothing. He's just gonna do what he want to accomplish, man.
And that shows you what? That the earth was given into
That's
the
what I was
the
thinking.
wicked.
That's just what I was thinking.
The power is in his hand to do that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And that's like I just read something too about what's his name? Curtis Johnson, 50 Cent.
Mm-hmm.
Curtis Jackson.
They
doing the same thing right now to this town. Okay,
Shreveport, Louisiana.
Yeah, they dropping toxic waste around his studio. And this toxic waste is getting to their water supplies.
Man,
Esau just doing it in a different tactical way now.
Mm-hmm.
Just to put it out there, man, ain't nothing new, man. They just figure out different ways to do stuff, bro.
Yep. But it's always with the same root cause.
Yep.
Let me finish the last sentence. Another commonly cited reason for the supposed haunting is that several cemeteries were not relocated before the flooding, and as of 2023 remain at the bottom of the lake. And some of those videos had updated numbers. Shoot, it's like up to 700 deaths. You had some back in June. The guy was going fishing, and out of nowhere, the bolts in the boat just unscrewed, and he toppled over and never came back up. You know, they found him later in 6 feet of water. So, you know, the whole haunting thing, I mean, they, you know, not something we push, but damn, y'all did some terrible stuff out there.
Yeah, there's some spirits of vengeance out
there.
Yeah.
Literal spirits of vengeance. Yeah.
This is why this devil really needs to be locked down and put into captivity, man.
Yep.
All right? He did all type of wicked acts, man. You know, we found out a lot of stuff we still don't know what he did.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Even here in Indiana, you know, a lot of these buildings and apartment complexes and these bridges and things you see, hey, our brothers and sisters are buried up under them, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yep. Yeah, man, I swear, man, that dude, what did it say? He be removing landmarks and stuff.
Yep.
You know, he's just no good, man. No good, but he has to pay for that.
That's right. This time is coming.
Yep, he has to pay. Like you were saying yesterday in camp, man, Esau's tab is so damn high.
Yeah.
You know, no, man, ain't no type of money you can pay.
But blood.
Yeah, but blood. Besides, your money is worth nothing anyway. Real soon.
What was the scripture? What's the favorite scripture you like? What was richest prophet out in the day of wrath?
Oh yeah. Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, as if they gave it to us.
Right.
Proverbs 11:4. Yeah. But
you're not gonna be able to. You know, I put that out there because look, Esau, you're not gonna be able to buy your way out of this.
Right.
No matter how much money you got.
You want me to get it?
We got something real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, this is Numbers 35 and 33.
Uh-huh.
So you shall not pollute the land wherein you are, for blood it defileth the land. And the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it.
And who's going to do that? This is just to back you up. This is the book of Joel, chapter 3. Beginning in verse 19. Egypt shall be a desolation, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness, for the violence against the children of Judah, because they have shed innocent blood in their land.
Yep.
Okay? Verse 20. But Judah shall dwell forever, and Jerusalem from generation to generation. Okay, that's us, you know, having the law, statutes, and commandments, you know, within us, having those immortal bodies, you know, coming to that glorified state that we're yearning for, that we're hastening for. Okay, and here's the point.
Back as gods on the earth.
Yes, ye are gods. Yeah. Here's the point. Verse 21. For I will cleanse their blood that I have not cleansed, for Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai dwelleth in Zion. And how he's going to cleanse the blood that he has not cleansed? Just like you said.
I'll read it again.
Yeah.
Man. Numbers 35 and 33 again.
Mm-hmm.
So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land.
Mm-hmm.
And the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it.
And that's it. You know, you defile this land with our blood. You know, now yours is going to be a shed by the shedding of our blood. Yeah. Go ahead.
Revelation 13 and 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
Mm-hmm.
He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and the faith of the saints.
God.
All right, so hey, and that's what we're waiting on. All right, we're here suffering, waiting for Yahweh Shemel Shai to lay his vengeance, all right, to recompense all the evil work that's been done against the children of Israel.
Mm-hmm.
All right, the apple of the Lord's eye.
God.
Are his people.
God.
So we're waiting for Yahweh Shai to come back, man.
Precept.
Lay down the law.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
This is Ezekiel 35 and 6. Therefore, as I live, said the Lord power, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee.
Read up a verse 5.
Okay. This is because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and has shed the blood of my children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity.
And see, and a sword is just a killing instrument either. I'd rather you flood out a whole damn town to kill people. That's a sword. That's a version of a sword.
Yeah.
Or weaponizing, you know, the elements or whatever. You know, the water, whatever it takes to destroy Jake. You know, using fire. You know what I'm saying? So that's the way they shed innocent blood as well, man. All right, because you know those people weren't going up against you. They were just living. You know what I'm saying? But the jealousy and once again the power's in your hands. So you know, hey, and with the you know, everything's a nail to you because you're in the power seat. You know, so you're the hammer of the earth, right? And so we're all looking like nails. You know.
Yep.
And that perpetual hatred is that ongoing hatred, like we always say, to this day. All right.
Yeah, it's, and that, you know, he said he did not cast off pity.
Nope.
Yeah, because of that perpetual hatred. You know, it's just constant, man. Every which way, every opportunity he gets. You know, once again, like we said, during this whole series of things, they never had any concrete evidence that Jake did anything.
Right.
Never.
Right.
They just blamed somebody and, you know, started destroying everything. Even after they got the person, the accused.
I've been reading the NLT, y'all.
Go ahead.
This is Ezekiel 35 and 5 at NLT. Your eternal hatred for the people of Israel has led you to butcher them where they were helpless, when I had already punished them for all their sins.
Wow. Yeah, y'all took it too far.
Y'all took it too dang on far.
Just that Zechariah 1 and 15, they furthered the affliction. I'm sore displeased with the heathen. Yeah. Yep. Sure did. Listen. Okay. This is Colossians chapter 3, verse 25, and it reads, "But he that doeth wrong shall receive for the wrong which he hath done, and there is no respect of persons." Okay? So you're going to get back, exactly what you did in righteousness, of course, from the nation of Israel.
That's right.
But just like you said, you shed our blood and defiled the land. Now we got to shed yours. Okay, and it's going to be done in righteousness because of what you've done. It says there's no respect of persons. So we ain't trying to hear the people of your ancestors of the day saying, well, we weren't there, we didn't have nothing to do with it. Yeah, you did. You are your ancestors. Yeah. Isaiah 14 and 21 says, prepare a slaughter for his children for the iniquities of their fathers. Okay? So you must pay. All right? Which one is that? In, I think it's Sirach, I want to say 41. The children, something about ungodly. Let me get that. Because of the sins of their father. I don't want to butcher it. I think it's Sirach 41. Complain of an ungodly father. Yes, Sirach 41 and 7 says, the children will complain of an ungodly father because they shall be reproached for his sake. So that's pretty much saying, going back to that Isaiah 14 and 21. All right? Prepare a slaughter for his children. That's what that reproach is. Gonna kill you too, for what your fathers did. You have to pay. All right? Point blank, period. All right? Anything else? Yeah, that's all I had on that. All right. So with that, we hope this lesson was edifying for the elect body of the nation of Israel. Once again, going to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, Ba'Shem, Kakadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of great millstone who rule well and teaching us this 100% truth. Salutations to them and our fellow Akim who labor in this truth week in and week out on the highways and byways. Also salutations to the hopeful elect of the scattered 12 tribes of Israel, scattered to the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, also known as your Israelite foreigners, and your so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. To you, we say Shalom.
Shalom.
Kwam Yasharala.
Kwam Yasharala.
Shalom.